Perhaps he's keeping the 7 seconds back to Robin Ellis. Paddock 4 continues between Andrew Winchester and Joe Wilmot. It's much closer with Paddock and Ben than he has been before. So he's actually given him a chance to come through it. These cars are 12th and 3rd on the grid. They're battling for
the inside, but Shelby can drift out wide. They're side by side. It's come down towards the ground here, but it's still the Shelby in front, but he's not going to be able to break the ground here very well. Oh dear, the elbow has to lock up. In fact, that's not really any good. So it's the lock up to avoid running into the back of the Shelby.
They're going to be caught by the Morgan. David Webber is back in too far back, but he is recovering now.
That was a real nasty moment there. The elbow of Wilmot nearly ran into the back of Winchester, simply because Winchester was brakes and grabbing and almost came to a standstill.
So we've got 4 minutes to go and about 4 laps. And we went 6 laps so far. I guess we did 31.
Right, hello everybody, welcome back to the action here at Brands Hatch. We've come down to the paddock and we're going to have a little walk around, aren't we? And we're going to do it completely around. We've got the microphone, we've got myself, and we're going to go find some of the BCB8 Championship drivers and the Midget and Sprite Challenge. We're going to have a little walk around. However, I have a little guest with me, a very special guest to join me with this. It is Bradley Gravett himself, son of Rob Gravett, of course, former British Touring Car Champion. Bradley, you're a racer yourself. You've come down to join us today. How good does it feel to be back out?
Well, it's nice to be here Ian, with the sun out, to be honest. Every time I come to Brands Hatch, it seems to chuck it down with rain, so it's actually rather nice. I'm really quite warm.
It's absolutely glorious. Now, we've come down to the paddock because we're going to have a little exclusive behind-the-scenes look. We're the only broadcaster who really brings you deep into it, gives you a look behind the scenes. Actually, behind us, I have seen Mr. James Wheeler up here. Let's go grab a quick word. And as you can see, a couple of the cars up here. We've got Johnny and James Wheeler up here. We've got James. James.
How are we doing?
Great to see you. How's everything going? Bit of panic stations or is everything all right?
D class is all good, which Dad's out in.
Brilliant.
I'm in the C class this weekend.
Yep.
And we've just got a bit of an oil leak on one of the rocker covers.
But
it's going all right. No, it was all right. It was a bit of a shame about qualifying. It was a very unfortunate incident. Simon had a clutch go, and Mark had nowhere to go.
We did catch it on the camera as well, so you can have a look back at that.
I will, so that was a bit unfortunate, and then it seemed to take them forever to clear it all up. So,
but we did get a couple of flying laps in at the end, didn't we?
Well, I managed to get a couple of flying laps, but we had a few little teething issues because this one's we've not really done it. The D class has had a complete new engine, everything. This one we've left. And now it's got a few little issues.
We've got the bonnet up. Just talk us through. Let's have a little closer look at the bonnet there. What is this?
So these are our C class. These are doing it's by far our biggest grid. I think this weekend C class. And I just spoke to another person who's building another one. So I think we're going to end up with nearly a whole grid of C class at one point. But they are really the nice thing is they're pretty cost effective. So the engine itself is just a bog standard 3.9 Rover V8. You can put a cam in it. Which is everyone's running the same cam, which they're not much money at all, and then you can run a 390 Holly on the top, and that's it.
And tell us, are they quite reliable engines to work with?
They are actually. That's the nice thing, because you're not pushing them to the limit.
I see what you're saying.
Because you're not pushing them to the limit, they should just keep running.
Absolutely.
They're old, so occasionally they do go wrong, but
quite often with these things, they generally get stripped out and rebuilt quite a lot. What's the regulations like on these cars? Is that something you can do, or have they got to stay as is?
These ones have got to stay as is.
Right, okay.
This one here, if I show you one.
Yeah, please do.
You've seen on this bonnet before.
But we want to see again.
These ones are a lot more modified.
Right, and
so
you can it's all pristine, clean as well, all around the edges. You can just tell that that's been looked after.
So these ones, that's very much standard, very cost-effective racing. This one is the next sort of budget up.
Right, okay.
Internals, you can pretty much do what you want as long as you say 3.9 original casting.
Brilliant.
So
and what's the disparity on power? What is the difference?
These are about 220
brake
horsepower, and then these are about 400 brake horsepower.
Right, so it's quite a big difference.
That's a big difference.
Big difference.
Yeah.
And rear-wheel drive?
Rear-wheel drive.
Brilliant.
900 kilos.
Quite small as well. Quite short wheelbase. Lots of oversteer.
Yeah.
What's that? Cross-ply? No, track tyres.
They are. Yeah, and sticky tyres. We've got another class. If you want to go down that way, behind that green one. The AB class, they can run 2 different types of car. a sticky tyre car,
Right.
but they're a bit slower.
Right,
or a
of course.
faster car, which is the FIA ones, but they run on the old
That's what you tend to
historics.
find. The more tyre you put on, the stickier they get and the slower they go.
Yep.
Ironically, but there you go.
So it provides great racing throughout. Yeah.
Brilliant. And you
Yeah.
can't be missed with these colours either.
No, definitely not. Definitely not, isn't it?
Bumblebee.
James, I'll let you crack
Brilliant.
on,
Yeah,
mate. Thanks for
cheers.
chatting to us. We're going to go for a little walk. Great questions there, by the way, Bradley. This is why Bradley's with us. He's a racer himself. What are you racing in this year, Bradley?
I'm in the JCWs this year, Ian,
Let's go this way.
as you know, because you actually did the launch for us recently back at Graves Motorsport last week.
We certainly did. We certainly did. We're going to go for a walk. Let's go this way, shall we? We want to. No, we're going to go this way. We're going to go this way. Seen a couple. We've got a few of the extra cars here. We can see as well. A number of classes, of course, for the. Let's grab a quick word with Mr. Fowler over here. Neil. Good to see you. I'm very well. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine.
You were holding provisional pole for a while, and things got going. And
Well, there was only 2 laps, so I didn't get too excited.
what's the expectation for the race? You're right up there.
No, the qualifying was a bit of a false illusion for me. Yeah, I tested yesterday, so I know I've still got a lot of setting up to do on the car. So, although I'm second on the grid, it was just fortunate. I can't see it doing that well in the race. Might be wrong, but I can't see it doing that well in the race. It's going to take 3 or 4 rounds before I get this set up properly, I think.
And what's wrong with the setup, might I ask? What's actually happening to the car?
The back's quite unstable at the minute.
Okay.
Front's understeering a bit.
Okay.
And I don't know the car well enough to push the car to the limit.
See what
So I
you're
don't know what the limit is before it's going to let go.
Seat time then,
So
no doubt.
it's just sort of getting used to the car and trying to make sure it stays on the black stuff.
Absolutely. And keep it there.
Yeah, keep it there. So, yeah, I think it'll be probably maybe Alton Park, and then maybe it'll time we get to Silverstone, I'm hoping to have been a lot more used to the car.
But it'd be nice to get it sorted for Alton Park. It's a high commitment circuit,
Well, yeah, that's a worry. I think it'll be.
You'll be fine.
It's a shame it's not Silverstone and then Alton Park.
Absolutely.
But
You've
it'll
got to
be
get
fine.
it really wrong at Silverstone to end up having a problem.
Yeah. I'll get there in the end with it. It's just going to take a little while.
You'll be fine.
It's just fresh out of the box, and
But it looks lovely. It's
Yeah,
all nice
thank
and
you.
clean. There's no damage on it, which is
no
great.
damage. It's early days.
Cheers, Neil. We'll see you. Best of luck.
Lovely.
out
Good
there.
luck.
Right, Bradley, I'm going to tell you something. I think he's been incredibly modest there. I can tell
Really?
Neil Fowler is a serious competitor. Yes, so new car though. So perhaps what's it like adapting, Bradley, to a new car? It's like you've not really got a lot of experience with.
I think that some of these top drivers, like himself, there, any decent driver should be able to get in any car, in any circuit, and within a handful of laps be there or thereabouts on pace. Obviously, he's talking about setup. That takes time. That is seat time to make that happen, and you've got to know what you're doing to make that work. And again, that comes back down to seat time.
Well,
so we will
talking
see how he
about
gets
knowing
on.
what you're doing. This man here, Ollie Neves, on pole position yet again. Ollie, you're kind of finishing off, taking 2020's form into 2021, aren't you?
Yeah, I think I got a bit lucky in that session, to be honest, with the traffic towards the end. It was a bit of an interesting session, I think.
It was.
I'm sure it was quite boring for you to watch.
Long
as well,
time
I
behind the
imagine.
safety car, but you got it going. You were third actually when the safety car came out.
Yeah.
Were you thinking that might be it? There might be no more time.
Yeah, well, I saw the session before. Seemed to actually finish pretty much. The safety car came in and that was it, checkered flag. So I was mindful of that, and so I think everyone was a bit sort of keen when we did get released. I sort of made sure it was a quick one, and then the second lap was even quicker, which was good. But yeah, I think you'll see in the race all the times will be much lower than they were in quali, just through traffic.
Now look, I've just been chatting to Neil Fowler, and he thinks that he got lucky in qualifying to get second. He thinks he's going to be slower in the race. Do you think he's sandbagging a bit?
I think he'll get quicker than he thinks he will. It's a new car, and he's still getting used to it. I think he's probably underestimating himself a bit.
I agree.
I think he'll be up there. I think Russ McCarthy is going to be a big one to watch as well. He's done a lot of work over the winter. He's testing here last week, doing sort of times about a second quicker than I was doing in quali. So he'll be quick, but I think it's just finding space really, and it's pretty hard.
And is that your plan for the race? Find the space and just get your head down and go?
Yeah, I mean, I think
best result, no doubt. But
I think I mentioned before to Ian, it's quite hard to get this off the line because I run a slightly different ratio gearbox.
I see what you're saying. So you've got a lot of torque, I assume, is it?
Yeah, it's a lot of torque, and it's quite a short first and second gear. which means that it just lights the tyres up.
See what you're saying, but not enough power to start in second, probably.
No, not enough per second. In the
Right.
wet, that would be ideal
Absolutely
for starting in the
perfect.
wet, but in the dry, just a second would be too much, and first is
See, it looks like it's all been lovely kept. I love the carbon fibre intakes on the top there.
Well, this is the 2020 championship winning car as
Is
well,
it really?
Bradley. Yeah,
That's the one to have then.
yeah. We put quite a bit of work and effort into it.
You can tell.
It's an absolute machine. Absolutely love it. You know, bundles of power everywhere.
And how are you finding the setup on it? Obviously, it's working for you.
Yeah, really good setup. The car feels a bit soft and a bit floaty here, actually.
Okay.
Compared to the circuits we did last year, which were like sort of Snetterton,
Right.
Donington, they're all quite flat, not too
Right.
sort of bumpy.
And where are you noticing that floaty feeling? Is that Paddock Hill mainly, is it? or-
It's a bit Paddock Hill, but mainly actually the right-hand sort of kink that goes coming onto the start-finish straight.
Yes, yeah.
It's actually quite bumpy.
Right.
You're obviously turning slightly, although
Of course.
it's straight.
But you've got to
it's
get
not
off the
straight.
lock as soon as possible to get the car
I mean,
released.
These things are actually like wheel spinning.
Are they
going over the
really?
bumps down the start-finish.
Wow,
straight,
okay.
just because they're small tyres and loads of power.
Absolutely.
But it feels okay. But I think probably try and dial it in a bit better.
Absolutely. And are these running more power than they were in period, or are they about?
Yeah, probably a lot more.
Yeah.
So,
So they're not actually used to having. That's why they're wheel spinning in a straight line, probably.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So I think the factory MGB8 came with about 140, 150 horsepower.
Right.
They're pushing just over 400 now.
Wow, that's a jump.
Yeah,
and of course,
so-
there's nothing in the back because it's all stripped out. You've only got a fuel
Yeah,
tank, and
right.
that's
it's,
it.
It's 925 kilos with ballast.
Right. And where's the ballast in the passenger seat?
It is indeed, yeah.
You'd like that in the boot, wouldn't you?
I would do, but unfortunately we're not allowed to. It's all got to go where the seat
No, I
goes,
know.
so-
I know what it's like. It's a nightmare.
Well, look, Ollie, best of luck for the race. We'll be watching as ever, and we'll be down in a paddock to annoy everyone. We're going to go this way.
Good luck.
Because Simon Cripps is over here. Simon Cripps involved, of course, in that qualifying incident. Let's see if we can find him for a quick word, shall we? And just sort of
Remind me,
get
is this the
his
hand
take.
out of the window incident? Is it?
This is the hand out the window. So Simon Cripps for qualifying. If you didn't catch it, do go back and watch it. Simon Cripps was coming down the bottom of Graham Hill Bend very, very slowly. Had his hand out the window to warn everybody that he had a problem. Came down the Cooper Straight, moved to the left to get out the line, and I think he had Mark Lillington coming up behind. I think it's one of those incidents. You ever done it, Bradley? You're walking down the street, someone's walking towards you, and you both go left, then you both go right.
Yeah, it's a
I think
bit
they
of
were
that, I
both
think.
trying to read each other's mind, and unfortunately there was impact. Both drivers out of qualifying. Let's see if we can find Simon.
Let's just hope that damage isn't too bad to either car.
I hope-
It didn't
Hopefully.
look too bad from where we were, but you never know until you see it.
Let's see, first of all, if we can find Simon and the car. Let's see, it's not in the gap.
Look at that Vespa there, look at that, with the print on the side of it, brilliant.
I'm trying to find Simon. He's not up here.
I'm following you in, I think you probably know
Yeah,
more
he's
where
not
you're going
here,
than I do.
Unfortunately,
Is he not?
Simon, I did want to find him. I did want to have a little look. We're going to go further into the paddock, see if we can catch up with some of the Midget and Sprite drivers as well. Let me just get up the qualifying order as well from the MG Midget and Sprite. We had a cracking qualifying session. In fact, it was so good. Richard Wildman on pole position, 0.027 of a second ahead of Michael Chalk. Incredible stuff. Let's go see if we can find the guys.
Really, really close racing. And what's the disparity between second and third in? Is it as close?
There
or
was
does-
about 0.8 of a second.
I thought there was a few
between
tenths in it. So
second
those top
and
two
third.
cars are obviously very, very, very similar setup, similar
Exactly. I
driver
think we
abilities.
head down this way. I'm not too sure where they are actually, but we are just going to go for a little. Oh, here's Simon Cripps' his car. Look, let's see if he's got time. So this is the car, I believe, that was involved in the incident, and it's looking like it's okay now. There's Simon in the car. He's looking like he's back. This is the car that was involved in it. Is it okay? Car all right?
He's D-class, the clutch is gone on it. So he's been home and swapped to his B-class.
Ah, he's been home.
Yeah.
He's been home.
He's
to
been
swap
home.
to his B-class car. Fantastic. I'm going to go.
He's just gone fill up fuel if you want to have a word.
Yeah, I do want to grab a quick word with him. Let's go round. I'm just going to shove the microphone in. Simon, how you doing, mate? You all right?
Hi, mate. You all right?
Yeah. Are you okay?
Yeah, fine.
What happened in qualifying?
My clutch went, so I had no drive, stuck my hand out the window, came all the way down, wanted to get off the track so I didn't qualify for anyone, and that someone just come up the anyway.
It looked like one of those moments, you know, you're walking down the street, someone's walking towards you, you both go left, you both go right. I think you're trying to read each other's minds, weren't you, really?
Well, I had my hand out, and that is the exit point of the circuit. In that predicament, he should have known. But there you go, that's racing.
But you've been back home, you've got another car.
Yeah, let's go. I've got to get out and do one lap.
Good man, I'll let you crack on anyway. Thanks for clearing it up, lovely. Let's go back. That was Simon Cribset involved in that accident in qualifying. Just saying there, yes, he did have his hand out. That was the exit point down at the bottom of Graham Hill, then just coming around onto the Cooper Straight.
And did he talk about the damage in?
No, he didn't. He did. Obviously, it's terminal for today,
right.
So he's gone home to get another car. He's got 2 cars. I mean,
right, okay. That's cool. Handy, pulling out the second car.
That is incredibly
handy. It's always a nice
isn't it?
Advantage to have.
It certainly is. Let's go find some of the Midget and Sprite cars, shall we, as well, and chat to some of those runners and riders. I think I've seen some of the cars down here, actually, as well. Car number 21 over here, Nick Rose. Starting, we've got car number 6 over here. I did want to find, if you see car number 99, shout out. Let's go this way. Martin Morris as well. Let's see if Martin is around. This is one of the Midget Sprite cars. Look at this, by the way.
That, to me, looks like that's been quite heavily modified, Ian.
It certainly does, doesn't it? Let's see if we can... we got...
Fantastic.
Brian, we've got the Collisons here as well. Let's grab a quick word. Hey, guys, you all right? You all right? Hello, how are you doing? How's qualifying?
It was all right, and did 4 laps.
Only did 4 laps. Okay, any reason for that?
Hot.
Hot?
Yeah.
You got hot? Oh, fair enough. Look, talk us through the car a little bit. We don't know a huge amount about these, so just tell us a little bit about, first of all, what is it? What's underneath the bonnet?
A-Series, 1380. Yeah.
What's it like to drive out there today? It's nice to be back,
nice
isn't
and
it?
Fun, yeah. Yeah, it's good. Good fun.
And I bet you're happy to have the sun rather than the rain with this. What happens when it rains? Is there anything that goes on the top, or is it just remains open?
Get freezing and wet.
You get wet. So it's a bit like karting then?
Yeah.
Drill a few holes in the chassis and get the water out.
Exactly, yeah.
Fantastic. Look, best of luck for the race. We will be watching. Pippa, can we have a word? Let's grab Pippa Cow. It's going very well in qualifying. Pippa, you were right at the top end to start off with at qualifying. How did it go?
Brilliant. The car's going super well. So all very perfect conditions, isn't it, today? So if you can't do well today, you're in trouble.
It's absolutely glorious. What is the expectation for the race for you?
Well, Tom and I are within a tenth on qualifying, and in the second race he's just pit me. So it's going to be close.
It's going to be super close.
Yeah.
It's going
I'm
to be
on the outside on the grid and he's on the inside. He usually starts really well. So a bit bothered about that.
So round the outside of Paddock Hill. Would you recommend that on the first lap, round the outside of Paddock Hill?
Yeah, just keep your foot in it. It'll probably be all right. It'll go 1 or 2 ways. You'll go left or right.
That's right.
Lovely. Best of luck, people. We'll be watching. Thank you very much. Let's keep going down because I did want to find the pole sitter.
Is that a 9 and a 9 I can see on the side of that car, Ian?
Right down the bottom. Thank you very much. Let's go for a little... Ah, good to see you. How you doing? All right? You enjoyed qualifying?
Yes, very much.
It was good, wasn't it?
Weather.
It's fabulous. Absolutely good. In fact, it's very breezy in the middle, isn't it? But down here, it's actually very roasting, very warm. In fact, very, very nice indeed. I wanted to find car number 50 as well, by the way. So, it's here. Is this Oshin? Oshin, how you doing? I understand it's your first race weekend here.
Yeah.
How did qualifying go?
Wasn't too bad actually. The thing with these cars, I just want to make sure it's reliable, really, bring it back in one piece. So that worked.
Is this your first ever race weekend?
First ever race weekend.
Wow. We've got Bradley Gravett with us, son of former British car champion Rob Gravett. First, what advice can you give for first ever race coming up at 2:45 this afternoon, Bradley?
Keep your foot in.
Keep your foot in, yeah.
And don't worry about what's going on behind you. Remember to obviously keep your spatial awareness going on, but don't be put off by what's going on behind you. Just focus on where you're going and keep the car in one piece and finish the race.
Exactly.
There's nothing worse than not finishing, but just focus on.
There's so many classes going on here, so A, B, C, E's, and I'm in the D, so we've got loads of cars going on. So,
there's 5 classes in total, but
so on the short circuit you'll find some faster cars coming past you and just let them pick the way past you. Don't move.
Way past,
all that stuff they tell you when you take your ARDS test. You know how it is. I love the colour, by the way, the proper racing green. It's fantastic,
green, isn't it?
Trying to
keep it that way. Absolutely.
Well, so how did you get involved in racing? Why motorsport?
Always been into like mechanics and stuff like that. I'm actually, my profession's a lawyer. It's completely different from mechanics, but always intervened into that. Since 2004, since being a student, I've been following these guys. Never had the funds or the time or anything like that, but now I thought just get into it, like do it for real.
So you're doing a lot of work on the car yourself, or have you got a team of? Okay.
So James Bilsland, he's a former champion.
Fantastic.
James. How's your man getting on? I hear you're a former champion. How's Oshin getting on today?
I used to race midgets years ago, so 2002 I was the Class B champion, but they don't run Class B anymore. So just helping this guy out.
So you got the best teacher there.
Meeting.
I do actually, yeah.
We're keeping my eye on. Hopefully he gets some results today.
Keeps me out of trouble.
How's he doing?
He's doing really well. He's being sensible and kind of taking baby steps, which is what you need to do when you first start racing.
Absolutely.
But he's bought himself a really nice car, which suits what he wants to do. And then, once he's driving it to its limit, then we can make it a bit quicker for him.
Good man, good. Oshin, welcome anyway to the Paddock. It's great to have you here. Best of luck for the race.
Cheers,
we will be watching. We will be watching.
Good luck.
Do you know what, Bradley? I love stories like that. First ever race weekend.
It's fantastic. I
Clearly
remember
excited. Got a big smile on his face, hasn't he?
Absolutely, and he's got the right weather for it, because like I said before, it could be chucking it down in rain and it's a whole different thing. And I just remember my first race in a car which was also here on this circuit. And I think you threw that microphone in my face.
I was here for that. I remember that. It was Enduro car, wasn't it?
It absolutely was.
2019,
yeah, the Enduro, the Indy 500, I think they call it.
Who have we got here? Robin.
Good afternoon.
How you doing? Are you well?
Yeah, I am. Car's not there.
What's wrong with the car? What's happened?
Well, it's got 5 gears in the box somewhere, but we don't know where they are at the moment.
So how many have you got of those 5?
Sorry?
How many of those 5 have you got?
Found?
None?
Well, I started off with 5, then it went to 4, and I ended up with 3, but by the time I got in, it's got none at all now.
Oh.
So that's not a good idea.
And you looking likely to repair that before the race,
No,
or is
not
that?
unless they're going to let me start in reverse.
Right, okay. It's always an option if it's there.
Well, I can do it. I've got mirrors.
Can you get it done for race 2? Is that it?
No, that's it. So it's a Type 9 boxer. This is not an A series, so.
It is motorsport. It does happen, doesn't it?
It happens to my customers. It has to happen to me as well. My customers, if they have a failure, we have to explain to them that it is motorsport, and we do rag these things to death.
Yep.
So, it's good that it happens to the sponsor at the same time. It proves that all of these cars will break at some point.
Are you going to stick around now, Robin? You're going to stay for the day?
We've got other customer cars to run.
Good man.
So, we'll be here. We're still here tomorrow as well.
Good man.
So,
look, you're still smiling. It's a beautiful day. If you're going to have a retirement, do it on a sunny day, right?
Well, yeah, but if you're going to have a retirement, don't spit your dummy out and moan about it. It's motor racing.
Great attitude to have.
Absolutely.
Top man. Robin, I'll say best luck. Best luck to your customers anyway.
Yeah, but we can also see if we can help anybody else in the paddock at the same time now if they've got problems.
Good man.
And tell us, what is it you do? What is it you build? What is it you do?
We restore classic sports cars, historic racing cars. We run classic racing cars right up to historic Formula 2 Atlantic.
Right.
Also sponsor historic Formula 4 2000 Championship.
Okay, right, fabulous.
So we run all sorts of things, but we've got a full designated race car shop, and then the road car side, we do everything from changing a light bulb.
So you are a busy boy then. You've got a lot going on by the sounds of things.
Always busy.
Absolutely.
Even in this mad world of COVID, we are still flat out.
Because me and Ian were talking off air, and we were just saying, the age of these cars, it's incredible that you can still get bits for them. Tell us about that. How does that?
Well, if we can't get them, we'll make them.
Absolutely.
So you've got to keep them running.
Yeah.
We do such a diverse range. We do Astons, Jags, Healeys, MGs by the bucket load, all sorts of weird and wonderful things, Fords, all sorts of.
A lot.
So many, yeah. We run a lot of. We run Formula Juniors, single seaters, all sorts of stuff.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
So.
Look, Robin, thanks for taking the time out. Unfortunately, you won't be back racing today, but we'll see you at the next round, right?
Yeah. Well, I'll sponsor it, so I've got to be there.
You've got to be. We'll have a cup of tea soon.
Yeah,
Lovely.
Okay.
Thanks, Robin.
Brilliant.
Thank you. Cheers.
The chap that invented this series, Larry Quinn.
Yes.
He's just sat round here.
Well, let's have a word of him then, shall we? Yeah.
We need to speak to him, Ian.
Yeah, I think so. Let's Larry Quinn.
Yeah, he's just round here with his wife Dorothy.
Ah, lovely.
And just going back to that chap there with the red car, that's a really unfortunate fact of motorsport, isn't it, Ian? That things happen and sadly you make all the effort to come here and you can't race. It's incredibly frustrating. It happens to all of us. It's happened to me.
It certainly happens,
We've
doesn't it?
We've all
Hello,
had
Larry. Sorry. Larry, I understand you're the man behind the Midget in Sprite Challenge. How did it come about?
Back in 1976, I was racing my own Midget, and I thought, what about starting a championship? You know, because it was still a production car in those days, and I said, well, I'll start this up, and it'll run for a couple of years, because the Midget was going out of production in a couple of years' time. So in 1977, we started up, and it was great. What I did was the season before, came down to Brands Hatch, went and talked to all the Midget drivers, said he interested in joining a championship, and they went, well, I suppose so, you know. And anyway, 1977, got it all on the road, 45 years ago now, and it went very well. Then the next season got bigger, and then by the 1980s, coming up in the mid-1980s, we had something like 130, 140 midgets registered.
Incredible, absolutely incredible. You must have had thousands and thousands of drivers throughout the years coming through this.
Oh yes, yes.
Have you? I was going to say, there's a lot of big community. I can see everyone's all quite close, and there's lots of friends here and everything like that. And I'm assuming, does everyone help each other as well? Is it quite it's a friendly series?
It's always been a very friendly championship. You have a problem, somebody comes and helps you out.
And that's fantastic, you know, because it can get quite serious in motorsport, and it's really nice that happens still.
You must be immensely proud. 45 years later, it's still going strong, isn't it?
We've seen some families come and go. We have, and grow up.
I bet you got some stories, you two, anyway.
Nice one.
No, absolutely. How nice is it to be back here at Brands Hatch today, 2021? We're going racing again, right?
This is the 50th year I've been down here. Didn't get down last year, but this is the 50th year because I started racing at Brands Hatch back in the early 70s, and that's what put the idea of the championship in my mind. And can't believe it, we're still going all these years later.
It's superb, isn't
and
it?
Do you still drive yourself? Do you ever go out racing in one of these? Or?
Oh no.
No?
No, I'm in my 80th year now, so I have to be careful, you know.
He drives this instead.
I don't blame you, love it.
I'll tell you what,
much more comfortable.
I bought that in Belfast 20 years ago, and it's never hiccuped in 20 years.
Really? 20 years.
But you have been looking after it, of course.
It's in great condition, by the way.
It's absolutely mint.
Well, I changed the battery in it last year. That's the only substantial thing I've done.
Wow.
19 years on the one battery.
Buy a Jeep, everybody.
Buy a Jeep. They go
or an MG.
or an MG. Larry, thanks so much. Dorothy, thanks so much for your time, and thanks for creating this wonderful championship. We're certainly excited to see the first race today a little bit later.
Well, it's been a family championship for all these years, and that's where the strength of it is.
Brilliant.
All the families were involved. We've seen sons, grandsons, all come through. You know, it's marvellous, you know.
Fantastic. We're going to go so we can catch up with the pole
Brilliant
sitter.
to meet you both.
Thank you so much.
Good luck.
Thanks, Larry, Dorothy. Enjoy the day, won't you? I'm sure you will. Let's keep going down. I just want to go a little bit further on, don't we? See if we can find, in fact, I spy car number 99, the pole sitter. That was close, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. I'd seen my mechanic give me that you're on pole, so I thought, when every lap I went round, and I thought, I'll just ease off and started tweaking the brake balance to get it spot on, and obviously took my eye off the ball a little bit and made it very close for Mike.
I think it was 0.027 of a second.
Is that thousandths? I think, isn't
That's
it?
Thousandths, isn't it?
Was that hundreds? Hundreds. I think it's hundreds, isn't it?
Hundreds of a second. Yeah, hundreds of a second. Look, this is obviously it's a fine-looking machine. The engine. Talk us through the engine. What have we got here?
Right, it's a Peter May engine. 1460 with a stroke crank on it, about 140, 150 horsepower, mated to a 4-speed gearbox, and then the LSD at the back, 10-inch rims, big tyres, bigger brakes, so it's not far off a single seater really.
Very grippy by the
Very,
looks of
very
things,
grippy, yeah. We're just bedding the new tyres in, so we did like fast laps, slow laps, just to like get the heat cycles. But
And walk us through that cycle. What is it you have to do for the slicks? How is it you have to bed those in?
Well, just get them like hot, free, sort of steady, warmish, just so you can feel them bite, and then off for a lap, let it cool right down, and then back on it again, basically. And we should get like 3 meetings out of them or something like that.
Wow. Okay, so they last.
Yeah, then it will start understeering again, and then we put them on the back and 2 new
And
ones on the
what tyres are they? What are they? Was there Avon I can see on the side?
Yeah, they're the control tyre for the series.
Right.
So they give us discounts.
And do they make those tyres specially for this car, or are they?
No, I think these are Formula 3
Right.
fronts.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's plenty of grip there.
And the car handles well, does it?
It's not bad, we're getting there. We're still setting it
Yeah,
up
of course.
and keep tweaking it and messing with roll bars and springs and what have you.
Well, there's so
dampers.
much adjustment on these race cars, you know, all the way through the decades, even today and back then. There's so much you can do, and getting it right for different circuits is incredibly tricky.
What's it like going through Paddock Hill? You have to lift a bit?
Do just squeeze the brake a little bit and then get it in nice and firmly and foot straight to the floor, no furring it, just straight down, and it bites every time.
And that big compression when you get down to the bottom is fantastic, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
It's brilliant.
Stomach. Whoop.
That's the one.
Well, look, best of luck for the
Thank
race.
you very
Man
much.
on pole position, Richard Wyman there. Right, we are
Good
going
luck.
to have to go get ourselves back to the paddock, ready for the races. Of course, we'll be bringing you the BCV8 Championship and the Lackford Engineering Midget in Sprite Challenge race live as well. We'll be back live from about 2:40 right through, so you can see both races. Bradley, did you enjoy a little walk around there?
I did. It's great meeting some new faces there, and yeah, I love it how they're all so good and close in communities. I love that. I think that's fantastic.
It's a lovely atmosphere down here. The sun is shining. What's not to love? Remember, we'll be back live round about 2:30, where we're bringing you the first BCV8 Championship and Midget Sprite Challenger races live here at Brands Hatch.